comedian Leslie Jones, who plays Patty in the new Ghostbusters movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. She has left Twitter after relentlessly being first attacked by racists. Then she tried to expose those racists. Then she apparently at first did not get any help from the abuse team at Twitter. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey eventually reached out to Jones on Twitter, but it looks like it might have been too late. Now, we've talked about abuse on Twitter before. Do you think things are getting better or worse, or are they pretty much the same?
I wish I had a really good read on this. The cynic in me says that it's probably getting worse, but the double cynic in me says it's always been this bad. I think that what you're running into here is a weird interaction of a lot of overboiled pots that have existed over the last few years. Since the moment that anybody even utter the words like Ghostbusters with ladies, people have just freaked out. They've gone apoplectic. They've accused Paul Feig and Sony of ruining their childhood. They've said that women are most definitely not funny, that they could never make a joke, that this is going to destroy everybody's childhood, that somehow it's going to retroactively destroy the movie as it's the original movie as it stood with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and that it was just going to completely wreck this legacy. And a lot of people have fixated on this, and as a result, particularly the female actresses in the movie have gotten a serious amount of online harassment, and obviously Leslie Jones's harassment has been particularly racially charged. And you sort of see this happen again and again and again. There's an internet, subsection of people influenced by several well-known actors. I mean, you really can't talk about the Ghostbusters outrage without talking about Breitbart News' own Milo Yiannopoulos. And Milo is well known for directing his followers on Twitter to send out nasty online harassment and to bully people into getting off of Twitter. And I think that Jones's case is interesting in particular because she stood up to what she was facing and she tried her best to alert people about harassment that's going on Twitter. But Twitter has been caught in this situation where it has been trying to placate free speech activists or people who are really into that kind of thing, but also not necessarily giving the community tools to help regulate proper discourse, which I think is also really important. What's the point of free speech if everybody is afraid of what's being said?
Exactly. I think there's also this moment in the her trying to expose the abuse, where she pointed out something that I'm sure has happened to you. It has happened to me a lot. And I wanted to point out, because I'm sure people are well-meaning about this. She said, to those of you who say, like, don't stoop to their level, like, it's beyond that, like, please don't tell me how I need to react. Like, I hear that a lot, people saying, like, just don't respond to them, never respond to them. And, that is even, it's hard to hear that sometimes. I do know that it's coming from a well-meaning place, but it does seem to say, I want to say to those people, like, I get to respond or not respond as much as I want. Yeah. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, well, and also I think that there are a lot of people that I admire that are really well known on Twitter that experience the same thing. The one person that comes to mind in particular for me is Roxane Gay, who is well-known author and Twitter person, and she deals with this all the time, and she deals with it in a very public way, where not only does she engage in discussions with people who are harassing her, but also she'll say, you don't get to tell me how I react, and I'm allowed to defend myself and I'm allowed to say these things. And that's the other side of the coin, right? It's the idea that, all these people want to do is silence a particular group of people by harassing them. And if you stay silent, then you're kind of doing what they want you to.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Kyle Ruggles in our chat room says, kill him with kindness. And that's sort of what is being done with the hashtag Love for Leslie J, which was started by Marissa Ray. I think some people in the media have said it was started by Paul Feig, but it was not. It was started by a woman of color, Marissa Ray. And if you go there now, like, there is only love. Like she says, send her, cute pictures of animals and just support. And if you go there and you scroll through, it's right when I scrolled through before, it was only positive messages for her. So, I mean, I don't know. As of that moment, it seemed like maybe good was winning for now.
Yeah, I think that that's actually a really interesting point. When I was in South by Southwest this year, there was actually a talk about how you regulate online communities, and this concept, which is called counter speech, was something that was incredibly important. The idea that you shouldn't be silencing voices, any voices, whether they're hateful or not, but when there are hateful voices, you should go out of your way to essentially overpower them with a kind voice. And this is something that I think a lot of people have been exploring, and especially this is the case on Twitter, where there have been a lot of calls for support for certain things, and as a way to assist people who've dealt with bombardments of trolls. But I think that it's something that I think will get a lot more exploration this year, especially as Twitter starts doing things like verifying more users, looking deeply into its policies, and trying to figure out the best way to control this problem that has been there since the beginning of Twitter.